it's quite different, I think. It's I can see why maybe people didn't like those ones.
No, I like yours.
You do you? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's got some movement in it, which is really cool.
Do you guys
There.
pay for your Zoom?
Yes.
You do? Okay, because I think I heard that you can put videos in the background if you pay for Zoom, but not if you don't.
Oh, okay.
Where's
So-
Laurie? What's going on there?
Hey, here she is. Here's the
I
sunshine.
was. I was out in Planet Guardian. I was out there in the Planetary Guardians because I'm just going, wow, we together at the right time.
Right?
Look at her synergy happy. Look at you two. What's wrong with me?
I don't know.
Well, let me just check for 1 second, you two. You guys keep talking.
Okay. Well, we were just commenting on Elijah's background and how it moves. Like the moving is really nice.
Yeah, but mine's backwards to me.
It's
It looks
not
good on
bad.
this end.
Okay, good.
Look at you. Whoa.
Bob Factor, look. Does Elijah
I don't know
get
if I
his?
have that one.
Well, too sucks to be you.
Oh my
Cheers.
So
Cheers.
tell me exciting stories of what progress you're making.
Oh my gosh. So Elijah, we have been hired to work with a team of women, 2 women, because one owns the business. They do drug and alcohol testing. And she's bringing in a younger woman to kind of in 3 years from now succeed her business to the young woman. So they're asking if they can go through a process with us. So Sylvia built a workbook. Now here, let's give them the rundown, Sylvia, to see what Elijah's thought is.
Yeah.
Because Sylvia has kind of one idea, I have another. And I know Sylvia will usually, being the 9 personality, give in to me. But I don't want to be given into, I want it to be explained. Here's why I feel. So Elijah, we're starting with the 5 spaces. That's a great entry map.
Okay.
With them thinking about their business in those spaces with their values and the whole little thing we do about setting intention compared to setting goals and how different it is. So, and then Sylvia, can you step in?
Yeah, and so in the workbook, we have a commitment letter. Okay, because we want that commitment with themselves and to each other and to the business.
Okay.
Right? So it'll be signed and dated by each of them. Each business owner will have a copy of the workbook. So in the workbook is that agreement, and then it's the 5 spaces map. We have a black and white one, and then a color one. So the black and white is the working copy. Okay, and then the colored map or the colored 5 spaces is their copy to keep, whether they want to photocopy it and laminate it, whatever, right? So the purpose is we don't want loose papers, right? We're going to bind each workbook together and hand it to them. And then we were going to go into the flow map and then the synergy map.
We're going to do
And
3 sessions
through
of
the
2
process.
hours.
Yeah.
3
Okay.
sessions of 2 hours
Okay.
with break a week in between.
Okay.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, so the first is the 5 spaces map, doing the values and going through that process. And then this is where the difference is. Like Laurie, I think, really wants to get into the choices map, and I'm liking the flow map as the behavior to go into your business and, you know, aligning that way. And so that we have a little bit of a difference of opinion there. And then, of course, the synergy map.
Okay.
And go through the same process that we did for the synergy map.
Mhm. So that's why I asked you, Elijah, if you had that video of Candace and I. So I rewatched it.
Right.
And I saw how powerful it was to choose a choice card, put that together. These two women are coming together. They're going to do the same process. And then they write down in their journal, how does that look for them individually? And then how does that look as a team? Because when you said did you say duality? Is that the word you used when you said?
Could be, yeah.
It's kind of working in twos.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I thought choice, because that's coming from more depth. And then flow could be something offered into the future. I don't know. That's just my thinking. And it shifted after I watched the video that you sent me.
Shifted towards wanting the choice or wanting the flow?
Wanting choice.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're wanting my opinion on that, so
Yeah.
to speak?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the thing about the difference between the choice and the flow, obviously, is the choice, they're all different, and the flow is a fixed
Yeah.
thing. And I think that the main reference point for the whole system is the flow map,
Oh.
right? Because it's like a word like resource, or a word like activity, or a word like relationship. It means something to people. As soon as you go synergy, infrastructure, and operations, you're basically just, infrastructure is just how all your resources are organized.
Yeah.
Synergy is how all your relationships are, and operations are how all your activities are.
Mhm.
So the synergy map is just the group expression of the flow word.
Yeah.
But then what happens with the choice is now you get into custom designing. Now, like if you go, resource at soul versus resource at personality, or whatever the flow word is, it gets very specific in terms of, now you are choosing a sort of belief system. Now you're really fine tuning. So I think that's, I think the choice map had a lot of meaning for you, Laurie, because the system, you had a flow map, you had a synergy map, so you've already done that stuff.
Okay.
So I think for newbies, the choice is a little advanced in terms of their business. Like they just need to, like, the synergy and the flow are good to start, because the harmony, it's too big. It's the community, and the choice is sort of like on the other end, it's very specific. So I would go with door number 2 with
Awesome.
with Sylvia's idea of the flow map.
Yeah. So Sylvia, I'm really proud of you, because I'm kind of like, let's just do this. This is what's going to work. But Elijah, you're right. I understand this stuff more. So for newbies, pulling out those cards. Yes. So thanks, Sylvia, for that.
Yeah.
And thanks, Elijah, for your feedback. So this was very important to have this conversation today. Oh, you're just awesome.
And I would add that you're kind of like, if you're coming in with you're essentially creating a package.
Yeah.
That's a value system package.
Yeah.
So, and that's something which, I mean, basically you could sell to anybody, right? I mean, there isn't anyone out there, because you don't have to figure out the details for them. Like that's the next level of them coming to you. You can just come in and go, look, we're going to create, everyone in your organization is going to create a flow map, and then all of you together are going to create the synergy map. And that's the important thing in terms of how, these are powerful transformational processes that you're going to take them on. And so you want to sort of go like longer term. Like, I mean, I think, Laurie, you can speak about it, like you had a value system for 10 years.
Yeah.
And, you can speak about whatever that meant to you, and whatever that experience had to you. You might want to add in maybe to the first, because you've got 2 hours with them, right? So that's the 5 communication spaces map, depending. I mean, you can, I might throw in the convo killers. Depending on, like, in there too, as a tool. And then maybe what we could do is we could put their brand, maybe you could add maybe an add-on or something, a scale up, and you could sell them the convo killers with their brand on it. Maybe tell me more about drug and alcohol testing. Like what is their like, are they in Yorkton? Are they small? Are they big? Are they part of a bigger franchise? Or
no, they're very small in Yorkton. She is a woman that, I don't know, she had the idea, and she's got a hold of companies. So she's got access to 10 companies that do drug and alcohol testing, that she sends the stuff off to them. but she's got one main company, which is 90% of who she uses.
Okay.
So right now she's at a spot where she's going like, we need to let people know the Chamber of Commerce is going to do a video with their company. Because she said people come from all over our area to be tested. And now social services is having their recipients coming for testing. So she's getting a lot of First Nations people. So she's a real genuine heart, this woman. So she calls this she calls it something because it's bigger than just doing the test. She's building relationships with these people. So like people will phone this big company and they go, oh, that's CN Rail in Melville, Saskatchewan. We'll get a hold of Sheila. So then they phone Sheila to get the appointments booked. But what Sheila wants to do is start doing some type of marketing. So she's going to the big companies around here in this whole vicinity and letting them know what she does. Because nowadays the trucking companies, everything, they're getting their people tested kind of at random. The railroaders, the big grain companies, it doesn't matter what it is. So now they've got this contract with these companies that social services doing it. So it's taking it to a different level. And it kind of pisses her off because she goes, are you kidding me? They're sending people from social services for drug testing, right?
So
Like,
did you say like, so she has all these people coming to her and she contracts out the actual test?
so the people come to her to get the actual test done.
Okay.
And then she sends it off to whatever
lab.
company she's doing to the lab. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But she doesn't do it on her own directly. She has to link up to a company. It was like
Right.
me when I was an investment advisor. I couldn't go straight to Fidelity. I had to go through Desjardins to get to Fidelity.
Okay.
So
And
she's got a hell of a business.
So does she like, is she trying to like increase her sales 20% or like?
Yeah.
Are you going through a process of identifying her goals specifically of what she wants to accomplish in the next year kind of?
Well, that's where we're using the 5 spaces is to
Okay.
look at those 5 spaces, set the intention, but then you've got goals in each of those spaces.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if her goal in their group of them is to build our business by 20%, what does that look like?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think maybe what you might want to do is maybe ask her, let's say, her 5 greatest communication problems.
Like with clients?
Yeah,
Or just
generally in
in
clients,
general?
like if she wants to maybe go into her family life, I don't know if she wants to, but just to sort of like to really emphasize, like if she's going to attract the new people, then you might want to bring out the first contact convo and maybe do a little a value, maybe a little spell with maybe what you can do is look at the marketing convos. Because the whatever is going to be your 5 communication spaces in 2 hours, I mean, you could probably go through that, in under an hour.
Yeah. We know an hour would work.
And so maybe just add in some more value in there. You could do a little thing on the convo types and then sort of maybe ask what are their 5 greatest communication problems. And then the convo types, maybe you can go through them and see what she does, or maybe the potential customer does. And then you can look at the marketing conversations, bring those out, and maybe ask her what her process is for marketing.
Yeah.
And maybe you could give her the marketing convo types and you ask her to put them in a pattern. See which ones do you use and which ones don't you use. And then find out what her current process is, and then see if you can maybe design one with the marketing cards, and then you could pull values for each convo type.
Oh, wow.
You know what, Elijah, that would be good, because as we know, we don't want to do one-offs with people. We want to build residual income because they want to come back for more.
For
So
sure.
by giving that little taste of that, because they don't really have a marketing plan at all, Elijah.
Okay.
It's just that I got that kind of mindset, so I asked the questions. They don't have a plan at all in place. So if they know that all of a sudden they can do a session with us strictly about how they want their marketing to look, that's another whole ball of wax.
Yeah.
But this would be an intro to it.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
That is, yeah.
Same with the Convo Killers.
Yeah.
Wow.
We didn't even
And
think
maybe
about
what you could do is, you may, because you've got some loaners now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Maybe you could loan her a set of the Convo Killers just to play with, and until the next session. So maybe you could give something to the people in between sessions, have it as a thing at the end. Go, okay, now play with your husband, or play with your, your, just see what it does it do to you to sort of have more awareness with these cards, kind of thing.
Oh,
That's fabulous, because then, like Allie, one of the girls, she's going to take it home and use it with her husband, her kids. Oh my gosh.
And so that's the beginning of sort of, okay, these guys could, buy the cards, or again, you're looking for the upsell afterwards.
Yeah.
But that's like, I would just say, like, have the program, you're focusing on the values, and then you're showing all the different ways you can use values.
Yeah.
And now, and this is your first time doing it, so you're going to be figuring out your workbook, or figuring out the different pieces that you need. And then you can, once you've done that, then you can go into the larger market with that program. And that's the beginning of one of your bigger offerings, I think. Because I think every business, if you just did these three maps, you just did that and refined that. And then everyone you do it with, then by the time you've built up enough clientele, you can come with program 2, program 3, or whatever it is, because you've got sort of non-ending products, right?
Wow. Oh my.
And that's what it is. It's just, we make that first step and that first intro, and then just build on that. I know we had talked about briefly, like at the end of the synergy map, and then, branching out, say a bit about like the conversation pieces, but never thought of adding the values and stuff to those conversation pieces.
And to bring them in such a capacity, because we have talked, Elijah, about the fuel, the compass, and the engine. We've talked about that, the triads. So when marketing comes in, and often, like if somebody says, I want to grow my business by 20%, marketing is a big component. So that is perfect. Because I love working in the triads. Those are the conversations you have when you're talking marketing, but you also got to look at money and cost. And you've got to look at the creative side, the 852, to go, what is it that we're going to put out there? So for an example, she's going to use the local Chamber of Commerce sends out 900 pieces in what's called the Chamber Courier. It's a little newsletter. But I've used that for 25 years, but my company's created the product to go in it. She's got to create it and then pay to have that done. So her expenses, the money side, is way bigger for her, because it's a cheap way to go. It's $150.
Right.
But she's got to create those 900 pieces that are going to go out.
Right. I'd also, see how much she's using videos. You might have a before and an after, like maybe at the part of this is just before you start, say, okay, like, let's just film you, what do you want your goals to be like? Maybe some of the questions, Sylvia, you can film, and maybe Laurie, you can ask. So as you're doing your sort of needs analysis, you're getting her on camera, and then you can use this later for feedback. It's always good for people to start to see themselves, to start to get used to it, because the video is a big piece. If she's not using, a video on her website or something like that,
They're not.
because essentially the first like, she needs a marketing program, right? And that first contact might be a promo video for her business.
Right.
So you
because how's she going to market to those people saying, we're here if you guys need us? That's a great idea.
So if you're looking at being her kind of like 3, you're coming in from the point of view of empowerment, and show her where she fits on your synergy wheel, right? And it's kind of like you're seeing, like, you're making a combination between your businesses, like you're coming in from the 3 point of view, and she needs help with the 8 point of view, and you're just,
I love it. The 3 point of view. Elijah, that's perfect. And our value in our synergy map on 3 is passion.
There you go.
I know. So Elijah, one more thing, just quick, kind of a little bit off, but so I have marketing 3.8, authenticity, it's actually love. And Sylvia has synergy, has happiness, and it's actually trust.
Oh, you mean on your map?
On our map, yeah. So
Your-
I'm
your
thinking
synergy?
yeah, our synergy is trust.
Okay, are you saying you want to change in your map kind of thing?
Yeah, like, right, Sylvia?
Right, so are you talking about like our backgrounds here? Is that what you're?
I'm talking about the map. The value at the top is happiness
Yeah.
on yours.
Okay,
On the synergy
Yeah,
3.
talking about our background.
okay, I see, okay. And
Yeah.
what is it on your map?
And that where Sylvia is trust,
Okay,
and mine is love.
okay, so I got them wrong or they
Yeah.
changed, okay.
But I really like the way you've done this, Elijah, with our logo on one side, Yorkton on the other. Oh, we have to start using these. You're right. Like we're in the marketing conversation. Even if we couldn't be with the people, we can have the marketing conversations up and the cards up if we have to do it online. Like these women are coming in, but what if we're dealing with someone far away?
Right, and how do you like, because this is my upgrade, so what I can do is I could put Visionary Hub here and then have the condo type or the value. What I was thinking about just as an exercise to do today that just kind of came through was, do you want to do a quick exercise that
Yeah.
So pull out, pull out your condo types
Okay.
and your value cards.
For synergy?
No, for all of them.
All of them, okay.
And what we're going to do is this is another kind of I think a revenue stream for you. I think what we're going to do is something I was putting forward at the very beginning, which was probably, now you know what I'm talking about, but at the beginning it's kind of like, what are you talking about? I forget that I live in this world where I know what I'm talking about, but doesn't mean anyone else does.
All good. Okay, so we want the conversation card. Okay.
So convo, and I didn't know that there was a value in here. I pulled it yesterday when I had a God woman here. She's very religious.
God woman.
Well, a religious woman. As a mortgage broker, we were talking about her advertising in our window. Oh my gosh, that card's never showing up. And I say
Worship?
Worship, yes.
It's a new one.
Elijah, so here's this woman. She's all about God, and you've got to take Jesus, the route of Jesus, and you got to do this. We walk over to the table. So I grab a freaking card, and it's worship. And it shocked the shit out of me because I knew. And you know what she said to me? She goes, I said, there was a woman one to add rightness. And a woman goes, one time a lady left here and she said, she told our other friend that it's a bit of the work of the devil. So whatever. And she's a social worker. It breaks my heart because someone's got that anal thinking and they're a social worker. But anyway, so I told this woman, I said, yeah, we had a woman in one time and this is what happened. And she goes, well, I can kind of see why. Is it okay if I explain? And I go, I'd love to hear. You know what she said? Right off the bat, it's the circle. I just about shit. It's a circle. I go, we do everything in a circle because we see each other. Nobody's above anybody. We see each other. Then she looked at it and she said it was the symbols in the card.
Right.
I just about flipped.
God.
Well,
Sylvia, I said, like intention and attention, right?
Yeah.
Like Elijah, I just about crapped because I've never even.
Yeah, but I think it's something that you really got to sort of understand. And it's something which I think when I went to Saskatchewan, I did realize about there's a predominantly Christian worldview.
Yeah.
And essentially everything outside of that is the devil, right? So they have a different interpretation, and especially I think whenever sacred geometry is used, which is essentially the symbol in
This.
there is an 8
Yep.
symbol, there's a lot of, interpretation of that, right?
Mhm.
Because of
Mhm.
Masonic symbols, and there's a lot of sort of darker forces, let's say, that do use symbols. So
Yeah.
it needs to be understood. It needs
Yeah,
to
I
be
know.
understood because you're going to be dealing with a lot of people that are coming from that place. And so I think when you come forth with values, just as a sort of, values are human in every religion, and it's within the Christian religion is very strong to have love and mercy and temperance and courage.
Right.
All the values that are there are within the Christian tradition. So
Yeah.
I think a lot has to do with really finding out how attached they are in terms of to I guess it's almost like it's how do people organize information just in general, right? Like,
Right.
okay, so this
Okay.
this is called a winning formula. And the idea being that, let's say in designing your ideal job,
Mhm.
that you have one process that you take people through that links in your gifts, links in exactly what you want to do. And this is, and it's in the 7-step, we use the 7-step pulse model. And
Oh, okay.
so we're going to bring divination in, but first what I want you to do is I want you to go through the combo types and choose 7 conversations
Okay.
types that you think are sort of like your strengths, that you think you're
And just connect that are our strengths.
that are your particular strengths, that you, and something which you would want to have in your ideal job.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
And I think by choosing first, again, you're bringing the set down. And I mean, there's 72 conversation types plus the 6 meta conversations. So when you divine this way, you can still do it, but it's such a larger set. And then people will have to go through a process, maybe even of learning certain combo types, rather than this, where you are specifically choosing, going, okay, well, I like telling stories, or I like buying things, or I like,
Mhm.
finding out, how to appreciate people, whatever that is.
So did you say 7?
Yes.
Okay. Well, the conversation killers were in here.
Oh yeah, I would take those out unless you
Yeah, I
want to
got
bring them in.
No, I'm pulling them out. Okay. There we go. They got to come out anyway, don't they, Sylvia?
Yeah, they do.
I love your idea, though, of convo killers being there as a conversation and then letting them take them home until the next meeting.
Mm. And I would also, just think about having a few of your sets set aside as loaners, and
Okay.
for good friends or people that are on the fringe,
Yeah.
just say, why don't you borrow this for a month, or borrow it for 2 weeks, or borrow it for whatever, and just start to get in the hands, right? Because people got to start playing with these things. And I think you should sort of think yourselves a bit of a library now, because you do have the 20 card set. So
Yeah.
before you sell them,
Yeah.
try to see how to use them, to sort of further the educational process of the people around you.
Mhm. Okay, so you have your 7, Sylvia?
Let me see how many. I'm just going through them all. 1, 2, 3, 4,
I have 8.
7, 8.
Okay,
Yeah.
you can
I
have
didn't
8.
go through them all, but I've got some.
Okay, you
Yeah,
both got 8, then let's, because 8 can be the big one. The 8th can be the one by itself that the whole thing is about. So do you want to just sort of say what you got, maybe put them up to the camera and go through it? Laura, you want to go first?
Okay, yeah, I'll go first, and I'm motivational
Okay,
and storytelling,
okay,
visioning,
okay,
guidance,
okay,
exploration,
okay,
connecting,
okay,
designing,
okay,
and brainstorming.
okay. Juicy.
Mhm. Aren't they?
Those are juicy.
I
Okay,
know.
Sylvia, what about yours?
Okay, well, I didn't even get through them all, so So appreciation.
Okay.
Healing.
Bring them up to the camera.
Hold us, show us, yeah.
You have to put it kind of in front of your head, because then Yeah,
front of your face. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Okay, and then appreciation,
okay.
connecting,
Mm.
designing, which is, we've got the same, brainstorming,
Mm,
Oh,
design specs, motivational, and knowledge sharing.
okay. Okay, nice. Okay, now do the same thing with for 8 values.
okay. And we're picking them?
Pick them, yeah.
Okay.
And I know it might be a bit of a sin to choose them when it's so much fun divining them, but I think that sometimes when you there's something to be said for combining them, you know, and having, you know, making the smaller set, because you really are now choosing specifically what you want.
I think you're exactly right.
But the values, I mean, that's a tough one. That's a tough one.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that there's a few new values in here.
Well, what's going to start to happen is there's going to be a few that people are going to go, why isn't this here, right? And you start, once you see all the inflow words, and you go, well, there's things missing that we need to bring in. So
Mhm. Awesome. Did you say 8?
yeah.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to be done right there because I'm feeling pretty good. Well, I'm not quite done, Sylvia. Now I got to pick out of my 15 I chose.
Or you can just, if you can just take from the 15 if you want, because we can divine from there.
Okay.
It's just
perfect.
getting a smaller set.
Yeah.
So you
Okay.
got that, Sylvia? You're
Yeah.
okay. Okay, now out of the 8 convo types, choose the one that, let's say, represents what you really want to do. Like, what is the convo type that of the 8 that is the primary?
Okay. Yeah.
You got it? What are you picking?
I chose visioning.
Okay, nice. Okay. And what about you, Sylvia?
I chose design specs.
Oh, really?
I love creating, right?
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's a hugely powerful combo for those two, eh? That,
Visioning and design specs.
like you're the big picture and Sylvia is the detail. And I think that's a great way to look at you two, right? Of looking at how you guys work together. You know, Laurie's on the big picture and Sylvia's on the detail. Okay, so that's great. Okay, now I'm going to give you a choice in terms of how we're going to do the process. Do you want to logically, okay, we're going to put the 7 in the 7-step pulse model. So on a piece of paper in front of you, write out the 7-step pulse model. Do you have it memorized yet, or?
No.
Okay,
I know the crescendo.
1 is start, 2 is setup, 3 is build up, 4 is crescendo, 5 is ease out, 6 is connect and unify, and 7 is finish. And I would suggest at some point to memorize. You want to memorize as many of the maps as possible, because as soon as you got them memorized, the mind starts to use them a bit differently, kind of.
Yeah.
So ease out and then connect.
Connect and unify.
Okay, and the last one was
Finish, the finish. I mean, so you can always, like, the 7 is always the beginning and the end, start and the finish, middle's a crescendo. You need to set up right to reach a crescendo through the build up. Once you reach that build up, you got to come away, you got to start to come off the build up, and then you connect and unify, and then you finish. So I mean, it's just to get that thinking in your head. So now, do you want to place the convo types specifically in one of those places, or do you want to divine it?
I want to divine it.
Yeah, I think I will.
Both? Okay, so hold, so the intention, write down the intention is to design your winning formula.
So Elijah, am I saying to design my winning formula or our winning
Yours.
formula?
These are going to be specifically for
Okay.
each of you.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay, so okay, so now shuffle up the values, and you want to choose the values, or you want to divine the values?
I'm divining mine.
Yeah,
Okay.
so the one value that we took out, we keep it in with the rest of the set.
Okay, you know, the visioning and the design specs are out now. They're the
Okay.
primaries. And then put a convo type and a value card at each one of the 7 steps.
Okay.
And then once you've done
And just
that,
shuffle them up and do it
shuffle them
divinely.
up,
Okay.
hold the intention, and then let's see what happens.
Okay. Okay.
This is exciting, isn't it? I mean,
It is.
This is pretty cool.
this is
Yeah.
what I wanted you to do months ago when I was saying get a 7-step winning form. Like this was
Yeah.
but I think I'm quite a bit ahead of myself.
You know, Elijah, I think you might have been, because you're like a 7-step winning formula. Do you know how exciting that gets in my belly?
And again, if you see how simple it is, again, you could do it with
Yeah.
anybody, right? Like, I mean, anyone out there
7
can create this for themselves. And then we have to dive deeper into what that means, but let's start out with the
Right.
step here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And then we're putting our values on those as well. Perfect. And do we put a value with our cards that are outside that? Our vision, my vision
Yeah.
card?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Excuse me.
Bless you. Because Elijah, when you say the 7-step winning formula, it's not putting any expectation, because everybody's got their own mind as to what the winning formula for what.
Exactly.
That's
And then basically what we'll do is we'll look at your gifts and look at what you really want to do, and look at the maps and look at all the kind of things you could use.
Yeah.
And then in each one, you're going to
Yeah.
place one activity that you take your client through.
Oh,
oh,
wow.
we are so ready.
Okay, so Laurie, do you want to go first?
Yeah. So am I starting with 1 or
Yeah.
my visioning? Okay,
Go
I'll
ahead.
start with 1. So I am right now on the start, and the conversation is guidance,
Okay,
and the value is respect.
okay,
The setup is connecting, and the value is harmony.
Awesome.
The buildup is designing, and the value is love.
nice.
Nice. Yeah.
The crescendo is brainstorming.
Huh.
The value is profit.
Oh,
Oh,
Yay! Okay. And then the easing out or ease out is exploration. And the value is gratitude.
Oh, nice.
And then the connect and unify is motivational. And the value is learning. And then the finish is storytelling.
Okay.
And the value is understanding.
Oh, nice.
and what's
And
the
then
value for visioning?
And my value for vision, 2 of them kind of flop together: enthusiasm and freedom.
Okay, we'll put them both in.
Yeah.
Okay. Wild. So how do you feel about that?
Holy cow. And you know what really felt good for me, even though I'm totally divinity, whether it was the whole deck or not, but bringing it down to, I had 15 values chosen because I got a few more here. I kind of like the idea. Choosing the conversations were perfect. But choosing the values, I felt really good choosing more than 7 or more than 8, but then divinely placing them in place. That's what I loved.
And I think you'll see, like, I tend to, I'm doing that more with people just in terms of, I like the process of making the smaller set, having the choice, and then bringing the divination. I think it gives the best of both worlds in a sense.
Yeah, I think that's really nice.
It felt amazing for me, and I've always done things divinely. This was really cool, Elijah. All of these all fit to me.
Okay, so that's just one layer. We'll go over to Sylvia, and then we'll dive back in deeper.
Okay.
Unless you want to sort of dive a little deep now and then go to Sylvia, or what do you think's better?
No, I say go to Sylvia.
Okay.
Do the layer because we're doing this individually together.
Okay. Yeah. And I think that's another thing that when you're working with more than one person, to sort of do a layer, get their thing, and then move on to the next person. Like if you go too far with one person, everyone's sort of waiting kind of thing, you know, so it's give everyone a chance and split it up into different segments. Okay. So Sylvia.
Okay. All right. So my start, the conversation is designing.
Okay.
The value is thrift.
Okay.
Holy.
The setup is brainstorming.
Brainstorm. Okay.
And the value is happiness. Okay, the build-up is connecting, and the value is braveness.
Okay.
The crescendo is motivational and trust. The ease out is appreciation, and the value is inspiration.
Oh, nice one.
Nice, beautiful.
Okay, and connect and unify. The conversation is healing, and the value is generosity. And then the finish,
Ta-da!
is shared knowledge
Okay, no.
and simplicity.
Oh,
Love it. And that, like wow.
Okay, so and design specs.
Oh, design specs was honor.
Okay. Okay, that's another beautiful one. Wow. It's incredible how some of these combinations just feels, you know, they're just, you can tell, right? Like inspiration, appreciation. It's just this beautiful connection between those ideas.
Yeah.
How's it feel to look at that, Sylvia?
Oh, it feels good because I know I consciously selected these cards right in the beginning, and then divinely and intuitively chose where these cards were going to be and show up, which was really cool. And I resonate with every single one of them.
Okay, so next layer, next step. Laurie, why don't you run through it and have an intuitive sort of, what would you put in each one of these places if you're looking at all of the different things that you could do with people, and you can use some, you know, some of the tools in New Paradigm Toolkit or not, you know, just keep it open in terms of like what flows from your intuition about this.
so when I see guidance, like for the whole thing, like when I'm looking at guidance with respect and kind of the start, the 5 spaces map comes to me.
Okay. Okay,
Then when I see connecting, like I'm kind of looking at each one and it might be the same, but connecting in harmony, I'm seeing like an online, we do that coffee chat. I'm seeing the coffee chat in there.
okay,
Yeah. And then the designing, I am seeing actually this, what we're doing, Elijah, to create like that academy or that teaching program that we want to be able to work with people so they can train the trainer. That's what I'm seeing there.
okay. So,
And I'm actually seeing that in the build up and the crescendo of Brainstorm and Profit.
so the train the trainer program is both of
Yeah.
those.
Yeah, it fits into that whole thing.
Okay,
Then when I see exploration, I'm seeing points of view training, like the training that I did in Costa Rica with the
Okay.
points of view cards.
okay,
Because it gives people a really non-threatening way to explore seeing from different. And then the motivational and the learning, I see the academy,
the academy.
Well, that's cool.
like a school that we're going to get going one day, whatever
Okay.
that's going to look like, Elijah.
Okay,
And then the storytelling, to me, the finish is what we're able to tell people through all the experience of this to put into a storytelling way to have people to understand, and they want to come and do work with the Visionary Hub. So I'm not quite sure. I think that's in marketing, like how we're going to get out to Access, how we're going to get out to YouTube, how we're going to get out to TikTok is through storytelling and getting our stuff out.
so
there.
stories in media, stories in the media.
Yeah. Media, that's the word.
I also see
The way to get it out there.
storytelling of other people telling their stories on the
Oh.
experience. Right?
Definitely in our
Out there
series.
in our series.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We're doing a speaker series, Elijah.
Oh, awesome.
Definitely. And then the visioning, well, that's just ongoing all the time and no matter what we're doing. So I'm seeing the visioning in the business development that we're doing and how that's going to be ongoing with an enthusiastic way, but creating the freedom that we want. So the business isn't running us, we're running it.
Yeah.
And living the
Okay.
life of my dreams.
Okay. Okay.
Cool.
Okay. So that's a first. That's a great first level into it. It kind of it looks more like a big picture kind of. It's almost like your speakers, like everyone needs a good 1 hour speech or a good half-hour speech. This might be you going up and giving the speech that then gets all the business into the business kind of thing.
Oh.
It doesn't look it doesn't specifically look as though you might be taking people through this process. This is what you're doing to bring the idea into the world. And maybe let's take a look what Sylvia's. I mean, again, this is just one formula and one sort of algorithm. It doesn't have to be the only one. It's just, this is a very powerful way of creating like scripts, processes, programs, right? Like you could divide anything into 7 steps and create a combo type and value for each one and use that as a framework to then put all your content inside, right?
Wow.
So what I'm taking you through, you could take others through for whatever they want to do, right? That's a big piece of whatever I'm training you in, then you can go and do the same thing with other people.
So these 2 women that we're going to work with, I could see this 7-step winning formula being a big deal for them once they've actually said, yes, we are coming together. This is what we're doing after we've done the maps we've done, and then bringing the 7-step winning formula to them.
Yeah. And that's at services, right? Because services at 7 and
Yeah.
at services, that's where they're coming to the world. And another thing you might do with her, I don't know if she wants to, but if you've got a good business and she's hiring someone to sort of take on some of the stuff, you can add other revenue streams. There might be something else that she can bring in other than drug testing. It could be brain testing. It could be motivational testing. Like if she's a testing company, then maybe there's something else. I don't know. I don't know if she wants that, or there could be, she could be bringing the companies that she's testing. She can bring you guys in, right?
Right.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
everyone who's a client is going to be your best person to bring your work into the world, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, Sylvia, let's do a layer into what you think. So what do you think the design specs? So that's the big picture. And then what do you think thrift and designing is?
So thrifting and designing is like no matter what we're doing, whether it's a workshop or we're working with clients, we're bringing new people in, access, whatever, that design and creativity is what happens. And so like I see it as like it's a start of everything that we do, right? We're creative in whatever project we have going on. We're creating and designing.
Okay, so just imagine you've got a client in front of you. It's the first meeting. You're in a designing convo and with the value of thrift. What are you going to do with that client?
So I'm going to like, what's the most efficient way of designing, say, your product? Okay, or say for Sheila and Ali, what's the most efficient way of bringing clients into you?
Okay, I got you. So you're focusing on a question, which is I think is very good.
Yeah, so like, what does that look like? What does it feel like?
Okay, excellent. Okay, the next one.
Okay, and so setup is brainstorming and happiness. So again, like to me, the start and the setup kind of go together, right? Because you're going to start to brainstorm. Oh yeah, you know, we need the marketing, we need this, and all of these aspects of the setup. And you want to ensure that you're not overstressed and you keep light, like you have to keep that joy in no matter what you're doing. You have to always find some happiness.
Okay.
So the two kind of link together. Okay, build up is connecting and braveness. So connecting and being brave is all the talk shows that we're doing, Access, The Rock, and any of those things that we are in person talking live. Because for me, I've got to be brave to do that and have the confidence and portray the confidence and the braveness.
Okay, but
And, okay.
sorry for interrupting. Just that imagine that you are taking someone through this process where you're the facilitator. You're just referencing you outside to doing media outside of the process, which is different than you have to sort of see what is the reference point for the whole process. Is it for you specifically? Because it could be, or is it for you taking a client through a process?
Okay.
So if we're looking at braveness and connecting, it may be that once you've come up with the design and brainstorm of whatever it is that they're trying to do, then they need to connect with the people, let's say in a deeper way than maybe they have before. They need to connect to the idea. They need to connect, or maybe they're connecting to you. And there's a certain type of braveness that you need or they need in order to go to that higher level.
Okay, yeah.
And so you might be creating an exercise. Again, I think there's a little bit of, I don't know if it's scope creep or what they call it, but you've got to really understand what this process is for, who is this process for, and then what is the context of each conversation in regards to that.
Okay, so yeah, so I was looking at it the wrong way. So yeah, so connecting. So for, say, with Sheila and Ali, how are they building connection with their clients? And where does, so braveness, and it may be braveness showing up for the clients to, for say Sheila and Ali to recognize that that their clients are brave to even just come forward to be tested, you know, for whatever they need for that alcohol and drug. So connecting and just, yeah, being aware of how brave their clients are to step up to the plate.
It's their employers sending them.
Okay.
So it's almost like you don't have a choice, right, to come and get drug tested because your employer's sending you. So whether you're brave or you're a chicken shit, it wouldn't matter, right?
Yeah.
Well, again, you're jumping now into a specific context with the clients tomorrow, using this specific thing out of this process to do that, which you can to get an understanding of what it means. But I think that we're looking at, again, like a winning formula would be, this would be session 3. And in session 3, now you're going to connect to, you know, your deepest passion about why you're doing this, or you're going to connect to who are all the people in your network, and how many of those people do you need to connect with deeper in order, let's say, to get to the next level? Because I mean, I think what you guys are dealing with is breakthroughs. You're dealing with people are where they're at and they want to get somewhere, right? So you got to identify where do you want to go, and then you're using these tools to assist people to go through whatever it is that the tool is helping them with, to see something different, or to sort of get that aha moment where all of a sudden you've lit them up, you've opened up because both of you, I think, are very highly intuitive, and that you can read people very well, you can sense them very well, and you just got to gather the information. The tools, like, again, you can dig a field, you know, with your hands, or you can dig it with a shovel. I mean, the shovel is helping you. You can still dig the field with your hands. And I think that you should always put your intuition sort of above the tools and everything, you know, because you can just get a direct knowing of what they need. And that is like highly valuable. So why don't we go to the next one, trust and motivation.
Okay, so the crescendo, motivation and trust, is, yeah, like what keeps, say, what keeps people motivated to keep coming back to us for more training, and the trust. So I think we build trust by connecting, and we motivate people because they trust us and they keep wanting more.
True. But that's again a kind of a bigger picture thing of you guys. I think what's missing here for you is you have to come up with a specific client, a type of client that you are going to take through a process. And then once you have that as a reference point, all of these things will make sense, because I think what we need to do is you need to come up with an activity that is like, each one of these is a session. And it just may be like, in each session, they have to accomplish something. It's like at the end of this session, you are going to have a 7-step formula, values and conversation type, layer 1 thing done, right? So that's what we're doing. We're going through this process. And so for you, in each one of these, your client is going to have something at the end of that session, which they have the takeaway and prepares them for the next session.
Okay.
Right? So I think what we're doing, you know, I think you have to sit with this for a while.
Yeah.
And then what I would do is I would brainstorm all of the processes and activities, and you can include the 5 communication spaces map, the flow map, synergy map, all the things. Like, think about all the things that you could do with a client, write them on index cards, and then go, okay, where am I going to place these? Where do
Okay.
they go? Where do they, which one of these is going to build trust and motivate them? Which one of these is going to connect to in some manner
Okay, gotcha.
that's going to take braveness? And I think once you have those specifics, because again, you're a hardcore detail person, that you need the realness of it in terms of what you're going to do with that client in that session.
Because just observing, I'm seeing the I'm already got my brain on a 7-step winning formula and using this in what we're talking about to bring to clients. Like using this actual process we're doing right now
Yeah,
as something along the way to use with clients.
for sure.
So, you know, wherever that be on here, right? Could be the setup, it could be the build up, doing a 7-step plan. It could be the start.
Could be the crescendo.
It could be the crescendo, exactly.
Like maybe like just looking at what you're doing right now is you could have, you know, the thrift and designing, that could be your 5 communication spaces map. Happiness at Brainstorm could be your flow. Braveness at connecting could be your synergy. And then the 7-step process could be the trust and motivational.
Yeah.
Because you're and then you're looking at like the type of conversation that's happening. Like if we have synergy at connecting, then you're asking your client, okay, well, how do you connect the parts of your business together? Right? Like how do the people talk? Like which, like, because I imagine that the person's coming in tomorrow, and my guess is she does not have a sophisticated business model to run her business. It's all in her head. It's pretty simple. She's running it out. And what you're doing is going, okay, well, here's this map, because as soon as you go from 1 to 2 people, as soon as you start to bring other people and you have to train them, they have to understand what you're doing, and you need some sort of methodology to do that. So you're basically saying at some point, you have to take all your business information and put it in this synergy map, right? Like where is research in here? What's your infrastructure? You know, what kind of jobs are involved? What are your activities are you doing? What are your products? What are your relationships? What path do you take your customer down, and what kind of strategies do you have? What kind of agreements have you made? And what are the conversations in your business, right? These are all the parts of the synergy and flow maps that they at some point are going, oh yeah, because you're bringing this map into a territory that exists, that it's all chaos. And now you're going, this is how it connects together.
That's what I stuck. I put a 7-step map when Sylvia said her trust and motivation in the crescendo. Because I'm writing my own thing as I'm listening to her, and I put the 7-step winning formula. Like, do you know how powerful that sounds like as a crescendo?
Yeah.
For people that we're bringing through.
Yeah. And that could be, again, you know, when people like to see the structure, and you can say, okay, we're going to do this, this, and this, but then we're leading to this.
Right.
Maybe I can, I'll see if I can make some maps for you tonight.
And then that totally makes sense, because you want them to leave with something excited for the next time they're here.
Yeah.
So it's kind of what's going to happen in that area, not just about I need braveness, but what's going to happen in that area.
And I think, you know, kind of like the big question, do they want to be a values-based business? Like how important is that to be, and to speak your story of how you have been and why it's so important to you, and how you guys use your values, kind of thing. To start it off. And I'd also say, like, this is just, again, like what you just have come up with is, it may be 80% right. Maybe the brainstorm comes before the designing. Maybe you put brainstorm in the start, and maybe you put designing in the setup. You know, you don't have to stick just because it is this way. It has to make logical sense to you. And as you bring in pieces and all, you go, okay, so I am going to start with this, and then this is going to happen, and then this is going to happen. And then at some point you've got 7 beautiful sessions that, you know exactly, what it costs, how it works, what they get. And then that's one of the biggest things you guys are going to be bringing. And then you can just keep on adding other formulas in, right?
Okay, yeah, I get it now.
Yeah, that makes sense now. Hey, Sylvia?
Yeah.
So can you finish now though? Sorry, I'm kind of stepping into facilitation.
No, that's okay. Yeah. I'm just saying we don't have to finish Sylvia's, just because I think that she needs to do it in a different way than you did it.
Okay.
If that's okay, unless.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
So take a picture of this. Elijah, is there something that you have, like now with this information, we've each done one layer with our other cards out there, like my visioning and Sylvia's design specs. Is there a map like that information gets plunked into?
Yeah.
So that you're, okay,
Yeah, I'll make, I've got
Okay.
it, yeah, so I'll make something for you guys to
awesome,
make it look nice.
awesome. So we're gonna resend you our synergy map just to make sure all the values so that we can really start using these backdrops. I love Yorkton on every one. We'll probably do our new Visionary Hub logo, like our new logo now.
Okay,
It's got shifting your story, with Visionary Hub. And we'll get that put in there and then have the right values for each of the areas. If we have 2 values, which in 3.9, we have commitment and resilience, we can put them both on, can't we?
yeah.
Okay.
And I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make 7 of these each for each of you with what we just did.
Oh, cool.
So then you can actually learn to put them in Zoom and speak it. And I think if you had like a minute or 2 for each one, you can do like a 10-minute promo video for the process, because now you're speaking, this is exactly what I'm going to do with you. So I'll make that and send that to you guys.
Yeah. Oh, that's perfect.
Okay, so lots of love for you tomorrow, and lots of encouragement, and I think you guys are going to kill it, and let me know how it goes. I really want to know how it goes.
Thank you, Elijah, and thank you for this, because can't you see Sylvia really starting to just understand this stuff? Because I mean, this is pretty new to her.
Yeah. This is all,
And
this is huge steps. You guys are making huge steps each time. And your head looks great in the middle of that frame.
I know, doesn't it? That is so freaking cool. Okay, I'll get that stuff to you ASAP, because I'm just going to take it off the wall right now.
Okay.
Love you guys.
Great seeing you.
See you guys.
Take care. Thank you. Bye.